Ciao visiem! Hello everybody! Lesson number 9. We have learned already quite a lot, but today there will be actually several new sentences, not just 2 or 3, but more. The good thing is a lot of those words you already know, so let's just play with them and come up with new sentences. Today we will learn how to say I am, like I am this and I'm that and I'm there and so on. I will tell you something a bit surprising. You already know how to say he is or she is. That is part. That one you already know. Remember the form that we used, man ir? In fact, remember it means to me it is. Like basically it is to me, like it belongs to me. Man ir, vīrs, just as an example, I have a husband. That's the whole point. It means a husband belongs to me, or I have the husband, so yeah, he's mine, yeah. So this is the whole point. This ir, this is in fact the third person singular, if you know grammar, or just to understand, this is the is form. And we used to use it in this form as is, like mine, is mine. So now we are going to say I am. I am. The good thing is we can use it again quite extensively. Look at the very first sentence, and first thing you should notice is that in all cases the pink nouns will be feminine and the blue ones masculine. We're using this technique to help us remember, especially if you come from a language where there is no such thing as noun gender. And again, we are talking about grammatical gender. Of course, the very first noun here, Kristīne, well, that's a name, so understandably, it's a girl or a woman. Of course, the gender is feminine, but some other words, they do not depict anybody who is a person, so then why would the noun be either feminine or masculine? We already discussed it, it's just the way it is. So we have to get used to it. But that's not just that. We have to be able to change their endings so that they can fit sentences. Okay, let's start. I am Kristīne. Es esmu Kristīne. You can say that instead of mani sauc. We know that one. Mani sauc Kristīne. How do you say what's your name? Kā tevi sauc? Kā tevi sauc. But you can also say alternatively, I am Kristīne, and you, right? Just make it simple. Es esmu Kristīne, un tu? Es esmu Kristīne, un tu? Let's write that down, right? How to ask. Un tu. Un tu. Es esmu Liene. Es esmu Maria. Un tu? So the person understands that now you're asking for his or her name, and this is a very short version how to say that. Un and tu, you, and you. Remember, in Latvian there are 2 ways to say you. There is this polite form and a familiar form. Tu, this is the form you should use with your friends and family members. If you want to talk to somebody that you're not yet good friends with, it would be more appropriate to say something like on jūs. Jūs, this is that polite form. We will get to it in full detail at one point. For now, remember this short way of expressing and yours. Es esmu Kristīne, I am Kristīne, and you, un tu, that's if you are friends or family members or maybe colleagues. Un jūs, this is most probably for a person that you've just met. On the other hand, if you're a foreigner and you're trying to speak Latvian, believe me, everybody will just forgive you any moment of being too familiar, being not using the polite form. nobody will be bothered. So I think you're safe to learn on tu and just use it, and also to learn just the form kā tevi sauc, kā tev iet. I think that's just enough. Of course, when you get further, please learn all the other forms. For now, I think it's also important to understand that somebody might ask you on use, they're just basically calling you politely. That's it, nothing more. It's not plural. It's you, polite form. So, what else can we do with this esmu? Esmu. We can say where we are. You can say, I am at work. And this is exactly what the next sentence means. I am at work. Es esmu darbā. Aha, darbā. This is the form that we use when we want to say where something is happening. Darbā. Remember, I live in Riga. Es dzīvoju Rīgā. So that's extremely important that you really make those long letters, long sounds, really long. Rīgā means in Riga. Darbā means at work. Oh, the good thing is there is no difference whether something is happening in Riga or at work. This is the easy part. So if we are talking about something that's happening somewhere, it will always be this particular noun case. So this will be particular that form. Rīgā darbā. Perfect. Let's just try it again. Es esmu darbā. Will you be able to say I am in Riga? Or somebody's calling you on the phone and asking, where are you now? You can say, well, I am in Riga. Say that in Latvian. Es esmu Rīgā. Exactly. Es esmu Rīgā. Another thing we can say with es esmu is this one. Es esmu slima. Es esmu slima. Slima is sick or ill, talking about a woman. Remember that in Latvian we do change the endings depending on who is talking, either a man or a woman, and sometimes we change the endings because there are no people involved, but still the nouns have a grammatical gender. So let's get used to it, and the good thing is, of course, that we can get used to it by talking about persons. Talking about myself as a woman, or if you're a man, I will show you how to say the same idea. Es esmu slima, I'm sick or I'm ill. Es esmu slima. If you're a man, you will say es esmu slims. Slims. You will soon notice that a lot of Latvian male or masculine nouns will end in s. That's true for adjectives. Remember, adjectives, these are the words that describe something. Like, for example, in this case, ill or sick. That's in what condition you are. Es esmu slims or es esmu slima. So let's also use the one that we already know, ir form, man ir, and so on. Let's use it in a couple of sentences that are a bit different. Tas ir labi. Remember labi. That one we already know. When we say I'm doing fine, man iet labi, or you can also say man ir labi, right? Like, for example, somebody's asking you, is everything all right? Can you see everything fine? Is everything good with you? Yeah, man ir labi, man ir labi, I'm just fine. Or in this case, we are saying tas ir labi. So almost the same sentence. Man ir labi, tas ir labi. Tas means it. So yes, you can point at something, or maybe not point. That's considered impolite, but you know, kind of wave in that direction. And say, it is good. Tas ir labi. Tas ir labi. Tas ir labi. Another thing we can say with ir, remember, this is when we're talking about he she, or it. We already had it. It is good. Then let's have a she, or a he in this case. Viņš, viņš. Yes, sh looks exactly like this. The good thing is it's in all cases. Sh, sh. I hope it's an easy sound for you. If not, just ask a friend or a colleague to help you with pronunciation. Sh, sh. It's a common sound that you have to master. Sh, 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 sh. Almost like a snake. Shh. Exactly. So try it. Try to be a little snake. This one, it just means that n is soft. Ñ, 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 ñ. You know, like a baby. Ñ. Viņš, viņš, viņš. Yeah, so V, then you make ñ soft and sh, almost like a snake. Viņš ir, he is, right? This is the is one. Mans vīrs. Vīrs is a husband. Oh, that one we already know. So he is my husband. And look at this mans. Of course, because we are talking about him. He is masculine, obviously. He's my husband. So that's why it will end in mans. Right here we can say this is my wife. And here we are talking about the wife, so about a feminine person. Exactly, she's also pink here. The word sieva is pink. So, tā ir mana sieva. This is my wife. This is my wife. Tā ir mana sieva. You can see sieva. First of all, it's pink because it's grammatically feminine. But that's the easy option because she's also a person who is feminine. So that's easy, right? You see it ends in a. What about him? Vīrs, the husband, ends in s. Also his adjective. So his word, this is not an adjective in fact. This is a different type of a word, but it behaves like an adjective. So this is the word that describes the husband. My husband. Of course, my husband. Mans. If we say the same about a wife, she will be mana. Mans, mana. Mans, mana. Yeah, like a little rhythmic song. Mans, mana. Learn it now because it will help you forever. And remember, we not only use it with people, we'll also use it with things, because all the things will be either feminine or masculine. So learn it now, and then we will be able to use it. So mans, that's about him. Mana, that's about her. And then what can be him? Look here, for example. Darbs. Yes, darbs. That's he. Grammatically, he. So can you say this is my work or this is my job? Tas ir mans darbs. We use this one. Tas ir mans darbs. Yes, of course, we will use it in this neutral form or dictionary form because we're saying it is my job. Tas ir mans darbs. I would just put it down, right? Tas ir mans darbs. Tas ir mans darbs. Say it again. Tas ir mans darbs. Right. If somebody's asking you, what are you doing here in the lab, or why are you taking those things? You can always reply, Tas ir mans darbs. Tas ir mans darbs. Well, that's what I do. That's my job. Tas ir mans darbs. Okay, let's go back to the husband and wife. Viņš ir mans vīrs. He is my husband. Tā ir mana sieva. This is my wife. So I gave you two options on how to say it, but you can also use, instead of viņš, you can use tas. The difference will be just exactly like in English. You can say he is my husband, pointing at him basically, or at the same time, this is my husband. But it's the same, right? The only difference, we don't make a difference in English between this and this, whether it's feminine or masculine, we do it in Latvian. So tā, that's she. Tas, that's he. And remember, it could be tas, not just vīrs, husband, but also darbs, a job. Maybe you're already thinking, if we color all the feminine things with pink and all the masculine with blue, why isn't this word mana pink, and this one blue? You are right, and at the same time you're not. This mana, in fact, is in a feminine form right now, just like months is in the masculine form. But it is only in this form because we put it in this form. It is not feminine or masculine by nature. By nature, it's a neutral word. It could be either feminine or masculine depending on where we stick it to. So remember that this word months, my, it characterizes the noun. So there is a big difference between a husband and my husband, right? Or a wife and my wife. So that's why this my, it is for me the most important characteristic of that person. It's my husband. That's why when I'm talking about my husband, months assumes the masculine form. But then the next minute I can start talking about, let's say, my daughter. And that's a she, right? Tā ir mana meita. Tā ir mana meita. Tā ir mana meita. Meita. You already know that word, but I'll just put it down anyway. Meita. Is she feminine? Of course she is. That's a girl. Easy, right? So at that point, the word my will assume the female characteristic. So by nature, months or mana, they are neutral. The neutral form is months, in fact, like the neutral form. But when we use it with some kind of a noun, which could be feminine or masculine, either because it's a feminine or masculine person, or because it's a grammatical gender, no difference here, then this word assumes the personality of that noun that it defines. Well, a lot of things I already told you today. Let's take a look at those sentences again. We already know how to say I am sick or I am ill. There are two forms. Look at this. Es esmu slims. Es esmu slima, that's feminine, or es esmu slims. That will be if he is talking. So again, the word slima and slims, they are not either masculine or feminine by nature. That's neutral. That's again that adjective. So something that adds something or defines something. In this case, I'm sick. It depends. The form of it will depend on who is talking. If a man is talking, es esmu slims. If a woman is talking, es esmu slima. To understand it easier, I have two more sentences here. For example, if we're saying that my wife is sick, look at this one. Mana sieva ir slima. Did you notice that everything ends in a? A are here. But the thing is, the only feminine word is sieva. Because she's always sieva. She will always end in a. Mana and slima will only end in a if they are together, working together in one sentence with a sieva, with somebody or something that is feminine. Mana sieva ir slima. My wife is sick. If we say the same idea about my husband, it will look like this. Mans vīrs ir slims. Did you see that? S here, and here as well. So, the only word that is by nature truly masculine here is vīrs, the husband. But then the word mans and the word slims, they have assumed this masculine personality just for that sentence. So here we go. A lot of things, a lot of new things today. I hope you can write everything down. Remember, a very good technique to remember things is rewrite them. Write them down in a beautiful handwriting. Really make sure that your handwriting is beautiful. And because then you take it very slowly, and then your mind can absorb it better. So use this technique. Another technique you should definitely use is the colors. So if the word is masculine, and I'm telling you this, darbs is masculine, write it in blue. If it's feminine, like Kristīne, write it in pink. Sieva, vīrs. So in fact, most of the words that we use today, they were very easy because they characterized a person. The only thing that didn't was the job, darbs, and that's a he. So use that technique as well. When you write down your sentences, take a pen of a different color. Let's say pink for feminine and light blue for masculine, and write those words in that pen, so that visually you have this visual reminder that this word is a masculine or feminine gender. Okay, see you again soon. I have a plan to record the next lesson tomorrow. See you. Ata!